Hey guys, I decided while I do not have many new figures coming due to Christmas, I decided to um, uh, go on some older figures that I had reviewed back on my old account and re-review them. Because unfortunately I deleted a bunch of my older reviews. I still have them on my laptop, but they're kind of unaccessible for different reasons. Um, but I do have them like ever since I used my second camera, which was for like a month, and I still use that one occasionally. It's the one I use for my store sighting videos more than often. Um, and I use this camera for reviews, so it normally doesn't leave my house. But uh, and I have that into all the videos that I've had ever since my old account went. Well, most of my videos since my old account went. But I'm gonna re-review Swindle. Now I do only have one animated comparison, and it is a Blur, which I'm gonna re-review him too. You can see Blur is pretty about another wheel, and his back length bigger than him. See, quite a little bit bigger. But Swindle is once again known pretty much like his G1 namesake. He is an arms trader, and he's very sneaky, very cunning. But he's by himself this time, and not part of a combiner into Bruticus. Because there's no combiners in animated, other than Jetfire and Jetstorm. You know what I mean? No, like 5 or 6 combiners. You know what I mean? There's none of those in animated. He does have his big weapon, his big gun. That, as you can see, all these bits here are orange. When you launch it, when you get the missile out, they turn purple. So basically, it's all charged up, and when you press that, the spring spring comes out, and the missile comes out, and it's not as charged. It's not charged. He does roll fairly well. You can see it's a little bit of kibble under here, robot kibble. I actually had to buy quite a few versions of Swindle, quite a few Swindles, because one of them did not have one of these headlight sets covered. One of them, the chest piece wouldn't stay in, and the chest gun had fallen off twice. And this one was my third one. And I'd also lost the missile on both of the earlier versions, both my first and second one. So third time's the charm. It took me 3 Swindles to get it perfect, and keep the missile. So here he is. The problem is it's actually not as noticeable on my camera, but it was noticeable on Pia's when he did the review, and it's actually quite noticeable in person too. The fact that this plastic and this plastic, it's pretty noticeable on here too, is that they are not the same green, because this would have clear plastic on it if you scratched it off, and paint, like plastic paint and all that, does not stay on it as well. It does have a Decepticon symbol there though, and it fits very perfectly, and it splits in 2 when you transform him. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm going to actually start the transformation, and the first thing you want to do is take the gun off. Just going to set that off to the side. Now I'm going to take the leg piece back here, separate that, and just fold it out like that. Put the wheels under here. That will become, like the bottom feet support. Lift up the weapon, his back weapons. Then you want to split this up here. Fold this up. And you want to take this hand, fold out the hand, and peg that. There's a little peg there that snaps into place there. Pull out the thumb. Do the same thing for this hand. Just get it far enough that the peg will come out. And get the hand. Fold the feet down. Make sure they are snapped. The 2 pieces are snapped together. Then you want to push this down and push it in. There's been a lot of people with issues that this won't stay in, but mine will, fortunately. And then you want to come back here, push the head up just a little bit until you can grab it with your other hand, and get it in there. And what I like to do is have them fully armed, except for with the chest gun. I don't like that very much. I like to have these weapons out. There's quite a few ways you can present the back weapons here. You can have them folded out like that. You can have them folded out like that. You can have them folded in, which I like to have, which makes it, because they're closer together and it makes it look a little better. He does have quite a little bit of a standing issue, but once you get him, completely balanced, it's pretty decent standing. There we go. Okay, Swindle is not wanting to work with me in this review. There, dang it. There we go. There. Yeah, see, as you can see, the chest piece is not staying together very well. And, the gun peg is on to his right arm only, because that's his left arm does not have a peg. So, it's a little bit of an issue there. I do have a comparison with another animated figure, Animated Activator's Fire Blast Grimlock. You can see Swindle is very small for a deluxe figure. I guess compact, he kind of has a little bit of lug nut syndrome, as they like to call it. That's what they called it when Blackout was first, he had his robot mode size shown. Now it's called Blackout syndrome, or not Blackout syndrome, but lug nut syndrome, because of the very tall, quite in scale in the show, yet very tiny in a toy. Quite out of scale. I do not have my regular lug nut to compare him with, but I do have my atomic lug nut, which you can see they're not supposed to be relatively the same size. Okay, they'd be close to being relatively the same size in the show, but not tiny like that. They're not supposed to be the same size. So let me take a look now at the picture. Here's Swindle, in robot mode. Pretty cool. Does have a little bit of an issue, the standing issue. Can't really get both of his feet to get on the ground there. You can see his left foot is actually a little bit up, not touching the ground, only his heel back part is. They should have had the wheels fold down, push up a little bit, and had like heel spurs pop out of the back to make it a little more stable. That was just my suggestion, but very, very nice figure. I do like the head. It's a little blocky though. At least it's in scale with the rest of the body, like a bunch of the Generation 1 / Robot in Disguise guys. I do have Robots in Disguise roll bar to show you, which was the exact same repaint. Was a repaint of G1 Swindle. You can see, 1, it was very tiny, and 2, the head was like micro sized, because when he transformed into an arm and a leg, he was like this, and Swindle just got knocked over, and that would be the peg that he would be on. And when he was a arm, he would peg in like that. So they kind of double used the head and had to make it smaller due to that. But Swindle's quite cool. He still is able to be found in some stores. Blur will be the easier one to find now, because Electrostatic Soundwave and Freeway Jazz just got released yesterday, and they are packed with Bumblebee, Cybertron Mode Optimus, Swindle, or not Swindle, but Blur, and Samurai Prowl. So all those figures will be quite easy to find again. But there's him with his chest gun, so he's all powered up and ready for battle. Maybe he can even take down Bruticus Maximus and the Green Mixmaster if he needs to, if they go on the Autobot side or something. I have no idea. But, he was very cunning. He was one of the loose ends in the show, because he was actually, last time we saw him was on Decepticon Air, him laughing and taking off in a ship. So he's alive somewhere, we just don't know where, and if there is eventually a Season 4, what will happen. So, great figure. Pick him up if you find him. And that's it. This has been my video review for Transformers Animated Swindle.